the organization and those at higher levels within the organization that work for them are interested in producing a profit. The workers become more and more exploited. They often perform quite dangerous jobs and don't have adequate protection.
Functionalism, interactionism, and conflict. Using the sociological perspectives broadens our understanding of bureaucracies and formal organizations. Efficient production, individuals working together to meet goals, and tensions between management and personnel. These are just a few of the characteristics of bureaucracies and formal organizations that are revealed by the sociological perspectives. During the 19th century, sociologist Max Weber developed the rationality principle, which is the acceptance of rules, efficiency, and practical results as an important aspect of formal organizations and bureaucracies. At the end of the 20th century, sociologist George Ritzer found a new model for the rationality principle, the Golden Arches.
Weber argued that the bureaucracy was the model of the rationalization process, but it seemed to me when I thought about rationalization at the end of the 20th century that really the fast food restaurant was a better model for his process, and so that led me to focus on McDonald's and McDonaldization. McDonaldization is defined as the process by which the principles that lie at the base of the fast food restaurant are coming to dominate more and more sectors of society and more parts of the world. There are four basic principles of McDonaldization. The first is efficiency, which means that you look for the best route to whatever goal it is that you have in mind. The second is predictability, that things are the same from one time to another time or one place to another place. The third is calculability, or an emphasis on quantity rather than quality. And the fourth is an emphasis on non-human technology rather than human technology. And so what we see is the taking of skills away from people and building them into these technologies.
These principles have expanded into other segments of our lives. Exercise, shopping, video rentals, reading, education, and even church services have all been modified to fit our McDonaldized society.
McDonaldization would not have spread throughout society and throughout the world if it did not have a variety of positive consequences. We want some efficiency, we want some predictability. It's just that when those become so predominant that they drive everything else out, that everything becomes predictable. It's not that I'm arguing that we shouldn't have any McDonaldization. It's just I think what we've seen in the last 50 years or so is McDonaldization gone wild.
Max Weber argued that bureaucracy was the most efficient way to organize people in pursuit of a particular goal. But Weber also recognized that bureaucracies have negative aspects that can undermine their effectiveness. This is the paradoxical nature of the bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy is a very bad word in our language. We think of it as stiff, rigid, hierarchical, dehumanizing, and it can be that. But I think we have to understand that over the course of history, people have had jobs to do that were complicated and required the coordinated efforts of many people, and bureaucracies arose to help coordinate human effort and to help get important jobs done. Great efforts are being made to do what people call flatten the bureaucracy, to give people at the so-called bottom of the structure more say over the stuff that's directly related to the work they're doing and to their lives.
One organization that has leveled the playing field is this supermarket chain. Founded in 1980 as one small store in Austin, Texas, Whole Foods Market is now the world's largest publicly traded retailer of natural and organic foods, with 126 stores across the country. Whole Foods Market is structured to offset several limitations of bureaucracy, such as trained incapacity, rigid hierarchy, and alienation.
Trained incapacity is a process whereby workers become so obedient to the rules and regulations that they don't think for themselves anymore, and it can lead to very negative outcomes, in fact, some dangerous situations.
When somebody's hired at Whole Foods, we make an effort to train them in every aspect of the store.
We want to give her a double shot, is a single shot, and here is the double. As far as people getting used to things like, I'd say, the espresso machine, a lot of people don't know how to use that, and so you have to teach a lot of things like how to steam the milk and just press buttons on the espresso machine. So it's not hard at all, it's just a matter of teaching it.
We're going to see more cross-training done, particularly to hold on to employees, as well as to utilize them, optimize them at a higher level. But the cross-training will not be the stopping point. We're going to be looking at cross-experience. So gradually, the people that work in an organization will know how to do a number of different jobs and may actually do a number of different jobs.
Another limitation within bureaucracy is a rigid hierarchy with an inflexible chain of command in which all orders come from the top.
And one of the keys to keeping the hierarchy at Whole Foods from getting too large and too cumbersome is we divide the stores into teams. Every department is its own team, and they're responsible for the success in that department.
So what do you see in the seafood case? What looks good and what doesn't?
What looks good and what doesn't? Well, our Atlantic salmon, it's really fresh. We just got it in actually yesterday, and it's a really fresh salmon.
Allowing for individuals to question the bureaucratic structure, to question the rules and regulations, to question the processes is the best way to prevent groupthink and to prevent trained incapacity. The problem is that the more individuals question, the more democratic and open the system, often the less efficient it becomes.
French beans $4.99 or $5.99?
Whole Foods Market has over 18,000 team members. The organization is primarily structured around decentralized teams and individual empowerment. According to the company, this culture has been their strongest competitive advantage and is the primary source of their tremendous growth and success.
The term team members is used at Whole Foods Market to express our view of interdependence at Whole Foods. Everybody that works here is part of a greater team. We empower those teams to their success by letting them make choices about what they carry, making choices about how they merchandise their departments, and even giving them every bit of information about the fiscal success or sometimes lack of success in that department.
One of the things we're looking at today is the locus of decision-making. We did an interesting shift as we moved away from that happening so rigidly into more of a participative decision-making, where we open things up to learn more and get more input from others. And then we got people involved in making those decisions, team decisions. The leader now engages others in making the decisions, but still has some responsibility for at least the process, if not the end result of the decision.
Bureaucracies are normally controlled by the elites of society. This leads to another limitation of bureaucracy, alienation.
Bureaucratic alienation is focused on the idea that bureaucracies are so structured that human beings become lost. It's all just red tape. It's all just a bunch of rules and regulations, and nobody has any idea about the human beings involved and how human beings should get from point A to point B, that nobody really cares.
One of the things that I like about Whole Foods Market is the fact that the upper management is very accessible, very open.
And we also have a team member named Jamie who's kind of new, who's very interested in the specialty department.
People who are working currently as vice presidents and presidents of the company started in the deli, started bagging groceries. They've worked their way up. They understand the challenges that people like me, people who are bagging groceries and ringing cash registers might have.
They come and help, and they don't just, you know, so to speak, sit back there and do nothing nowadays. They come out here, they get their hands dirty as well as we do, and that's really encouraging to our young team members here. Once they see the boss come out and get their hands dirty with them, that's really encouraging to the team.
Interestingly enough, bureaucratic alienation can also occur with individuals who interact, who don't work within the organization, but interact with it when you're forced to, where you walk in and you stand in line and it seems like forever and no one cares and no one can help you. When you finally get to the head of the line, then they put you off into another line. And so individuals that interact with bureaucracies can become alienated that way also.
We spend a lot of time in getting people to realize that pleasing the customer is always key to success in retail. We feel like if a customer's not happy, then we've lost them. So getting people to let go of their caution and do everything they can to please a customer is an ongoing challenge for me as an individual and for the company as a whole.
As people work more together, the executives, the owners, the managers, the supervisors, the hourly employees, the technicians, the highly specialized people, all these people come together more as a community, they're going to be much more productive.
That's how corporations become creative, by having trustful relationships among people which allow them to speak honestly to each other, to engage in conflict that is uncomfortable, but that can be very creative. And you can't do that unless you're weaving a fabric of relationships among people.
The same features of bureaucracy that allow for efficient production can also impede progress. That's why some formal organizations are restructuring and reorganizing. Efforts such as these provide solutions that offset the limitations of bureaucracies. Our lives are influenced by formal organizations and bureaucracies through the goods and services we use every day. These large social structures have evolved to help us accomplish more in less time. Whether we see them in a positive or a negative light, we must realize that formal organizations and bureaucracies play an essential role in our complex society.
This is PBS,